What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. If you're watching on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, like and subscribe. I appreciate that. I'm trying to grow this thing. And this is for, it's a safe haven for people who love soccer in America and just all over the world. And we get people hitting us up, leaving comments and stuff like that. So leave comments and I'll respond to them all. And, let's just enjoy this thing and have some fun with my jazz voice. Sponsor for the podcast is onthevolleyapparel.com. They have men's t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, jerseys, and hats. And if you scroll through some of the gear, you scroll through some of the gear, you'll see that they have a soccer combined with a hip-hop logo on the front of them. They have the Tribe Called Quest joint, and I don't know why they have ducks and pucks, but that's down there. Then they have the Wu-Tang symbol with the soccer field on it, so that's kind of lit. And keep scrolling down. The No Fumes with the feet. History Hyenas, No Fumes. And you see that they have some original creative stuff. The Drake version with the OTVA on the Volley Apparel, but yeah, man. And there's the NASA joint, OTVA style. So and it's for men's and women's. They have for both, and they can also outfit your local soccer team. So go to onthevolleyapparel.com, use my promo code Comic Rant, and get 20% off. And also, this podcast is my hands are white as shit. Goddamn. Anyway, this podcast is produced at All Things Comedy. Thank you, Aaron Brungard, producer for the show. And there's got so many other comics who have different podcasts on the network. And let's go through some of the comedians, because sometimes I can't remember all of them. And Nick Youssef still on here?
Yeah, he's not currently recording.
Not currently recording, but you can go back. Eddie Pepitone.
Yeah.
Kevin Christie. Mm-hmm. Some dude named Bill Burr. Stanhope on it. Is that Doug Stanhope?
Yep.
He's on here?
Yeah.
That's dope. And so that's just the top list, me being lazy. Al Magico's back. He's done so much. Eric Griffin is on here. Riffin with Griffin. So, just go to onthevolleyapparel.com, scroll through their page, and it's a great home for just your home podcast to listen to comics on their different various topics. And what else do I have to say? I guess I'll introduce my guest, Lee Hudson, comic from England, and Southampton fan. Had him on the podcast before. And you could have been here a better week, but Southampton's had a good run. So
I can't complain.
You can't complain losing to the best team in the league on the week you come in. But before I want to start anything, I was away last week. I was away. And then the Sunday before that, Kobe passed. So we didn't get to talk about it. And so I was in Fiji, not stunting on anyone. That's just where I was. And got the news early in the morning about the plane crash. And, a lot of people can't understand this tragedy. But what I take from it is, first of all, thank you, Kobe, for everything. Like I had a like-hate relationship with Kobe because I really loved the Lakers, but at the same time, I think I was a bigger fan of Shaq, and I felt like it was because of him that they broke apart. But I don't blame him. It's his determination to want to win, and his drive that that. Like, I understand everything that he was doing, and once you understand someone, you can't, be mad at them, for anything.
Yeah, he was like one of sports' ultimate competitors in
always,
terms of
exactly.
drive and focus and everything.
Yeah, and I thank you for all the games, the losses, the wins, the high-scoring games, and the universe, God, or whoever you respect or love, Creator gave us Kobe, and we can't have everybody for as long as we want. But I'm definitely happy for the times that we had. And it was beautiful to come back to LA and see all the murals, go down to Staples Center, see the tributes, and just to show that, and buildings flashing Kobe signs, and just so much love, so you'll never be forgotten. You're immortalized, you're never dead, not here. And even watching the Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid game, they had a tribute to Kobe, like a 1 minute of silence, people wearing a jersey, and it's like, that's how far. That is the Madrid derby.
That transcends the sport.
Yeah, man.
But he was a big soccer fan.
Yeah, he's a big soccer fan too. Yeah.
Because didn't he live in Italy or something?
Yeah, he grew up in Italy for like maybe 6 years.
Got
maybe.
Into it there,
Yeah. Spoke Italian, spoke Spanish, played soccer, and like loved the sport. So yeah. Like how could you be, like how could you be mad at Kobe, So, thanks. Anything you want to add? Because you were in England when you heard it.
Yeah.
How was it there?
People were just shocked.
Like
everyone knew him. I mean, I was lucky enough to watch him at the 2012 Olympics.
Sure.
I went to watch the Team USA rack up a high score against Nigeria.
Hilarious. Was that in England? That 2020 Olympics?
It was in London, yeah.
Oh, okay, smart. That's dope.
But like it was a pretty dope team. They had LeBron was playing, obviously Kobe, Kevin Durant. It was
Yeah, you definitely go to see that ticket.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you pull that mic a little bit closer?
I was just going to say that, yeah. Lee, could you actually use the mic? You're a comic, goddammit. Use the mic. It's hilarious. So, yeah, thank you, Kobe. LA loves you. People all over the world love you. I love you. Thank you. And to his daughter, Gigi, and to everybody else that died in the crash. I don't remember all the names. I hope everybody just feels the love of the world with them, the families, and I hope it helps them. How about that? Yeah. So on to soccer, and let's go to like what would you say was the biggest game of the weekend? And don't say Southampton.
No, I think in terms of talking points, probably Spurs City.
Spurs City, right?
There was a lot of controversy in that one.
Yeah, I got a list of the controversy on my phone. Yeah, some points. There's a lot of talking points in this game. So I made some notes on my phone, and here they at. I can never find these in the order that I wrote them. And the weird thing about my phone, I can't look at my phone with my glasses on. So here's Tottenham versus Man City.
You just got VAR written a bunch of times.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Tottenham is Man City's bogey team with VAR.
Yeah.
But Tottenham, VAR is always on Tottenham's side versus Man City.
Yeah.
And it just comes into play so many times when these two teams play at key moments, and it alters the results of their games.
Yeah.
So it's like, one thing that's bad as a season Pochettino was having, he could always count on Man City and VAR coming together, to that combination of Spurs, VAR, and Man City, who are the champs. They knocked them out in Champions League. The early part of the season, there was a game, and Man City thought they had to win. They got VAR'd again, and then boom. So then, there was a VAR thing. The Zinchenko sending off. You think it's a sending off?
By the laws of the game, it is.
But so tell me, I'll tell you, I do think it's a sending off because it was definitely a tactical foul. It's definitely a tactical foul, which.
Well, this is something which people have been accusing Guardiola of a lot. So, looking at the fact that as soon as City lose possession, if you can't
catch up with the ball,
just foul people.
Yes, and that's what they do.
And they've got away with it for quite a while. And this is, I think, the first time they've actually been called on it.
Well, I don't think they get away with it. They get the yellow card, but it's never usually a player with a yellow card that already has a yellow card.
Yeah, they're normally smarter with it.
Yeah. So it's normally like somebody that doesn't. And I think it was great that Winks started moving ahead right away. Like Winks normally gets the ball, collects it, and holds it, and then passes it. But that was rare to see him like just jet forward and like cause an instant threat. And I think he should just do that more often.
Yeah, normally he just plays it safe, goes back
plays it
sideways
safe.
or whatever. And,
But he started moving. I said, oh, why doesn't he do that more often?
Yeah.
He's got like a little jet burst. Use that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, man, they tactical foul. Zinchenko's just like, you should just trust the rest of your teammates. But he's following Pep's orders. So here's the thing about technical fouls too. Like Nuno Spiritus, is that his name? Did I say it right?
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah, from Wolves. They brought up technical fouls to him. And he said, yeah, that's something we do. He said it this week in an interview.
It's part of the game.
He said, it's part of the game, it's something we do. But Pep is the one just denying it. Yeah, but the Wolves coach admitted this weekend that, yeah, we do that.
Oh, yeah, I think every team does to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you see the big one in the Real Madrid game?
No, I don't even know the score of the Real Madrid game. I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
I started watching it and I said, I don't have the time to watch this. I got to prepare for this podcast.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to watch it afterwards.
Well, this was the Super Cup game against Atletico.
Oh, okay. Well, when? This weekend?
No, this was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, because I know they played Atletico this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, this was a couple of weeks ago when
Okay.
I think it was the scores were tied in extra time,
Mm-hmm.
and Morata went through 1v1,
Mm-hmm.
and was it? I can't remember his name now. Young guy for Valverde for Madrid.
The new
He just-
midfielder.
Yeah, he just chopped Morata down and took the red for the team.
No.
So that's a really extreme example.
That's pretty extreme. Like there's a way to technical foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally it's a shirt pull or something.
Yeah.
Something little.
You
'cause
slow him down. Yeah.
You're not going to get a red for
You
that
don't want
unless
to get the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to go a man down. Yeah. So Zinchenko, you have to tell me how you really feel. I feel like you're holding back on the Zinchenko thing. You said it's a foul based on the laws of the game, but how do you feel?
I think it's silly. It's a bit stupid from him, I guess.
But do you think it's a foul?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
That's all you want to say.
If it happened against my team, I'd be calling for it.
Yeah. And your team.
But if a player on my team did it, I'd probably go, yeah,
Right.
one of those.
And what about Sterling? Do you think Sterling should have gotten a red for earlier play on Dele Alli?
Possibly, yeah. I know one man who definitely thought he should have, and that's Mourinho.
Yeah.
You see him on the side. Well, I think
Uh-huh.
it was his assistant sort of nudged him and said, "Hey, he's already got a yellow." And Mourinho just went steaming over to the fourth official and got in his face.
So he didn't even get a yellow for it.
I know he already had a yellow. Yeah. So you got away with it. Yeah, essentially.
He didn't get anything for that.
No, it was part of the VAR thing, wasn't it? Going back and forth, I think.
When you saw the tackle, like I saw the tackle, at first I was like, hey, he kind of had the ball. And to me personally, on that play, like I felt like he hit the ball and then his foot went over the ball and then landed on the guy's ankle. So I don't even think, and he was the one who had the ball and was dribbling with it. So I don't even think it's a 50-50 that just ends up in a red kind of yellow area. It wasn't like a straight up tackle.
Yeah.
Because he never went to ground. He hit the ball first. So then to me, it's like, I get that not being anything.
Yeah.
But it could have been.
If you're going by the laws, it's sort of, is he in control of his body? Is it sort of reckless and
Right.
excessive force? And there's a case for it. But
Right.
yeah, it's one of those. It didn't look good. If you look at the stills.
If you look at the still,
like
it doesn't look good.
It looks like an
he's-
ankle breaker.
Yeah, it looks like he did it intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, in the context of the game, like you say, running with the ball and everything is, one of those ones.
And then there's a bunch of things about that game. So they got the penalty.
Mm.
And who took the penalty?
Gundogan, I think.
Why Gundogan and not
Not Aguero?
Sergio Aguero? Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's missed a couple Gundogan for them before as well.
Did he?
Which is a bit mad. Yeah, I mean, I'd have thought Aguero all day long would.
Their leading scorer.
Yeah.
Right. For the last 10 seasons, probably.
Yeah, the finisher.
Yeah. So that was weird. There was another weird thing is when they went one man down and a goal down, right? Like right before they went a goal down, they were going to make a sub and Aguero was going to come off.
Yeah.
And then boom, Tottenham score, right? Was that how it went? And then they subbed Aguero anyway.
I think so, yeah.
And it's like, you're a goal down. Shouldn't you? Like Pep made a few weird choices in this game. Like, why would you sub your best scorer and get defensive when you're a goal down and a man down.
Yeah, you sacrifice someone else.
Yeah, you sacrifice someone else.
He only needs one chance.
Yeah, so it's like you're just losing. You're just stopping your chances of winning the game. Like, I know that's the sub you were gonna make, but they just scored. The sub was lined up on the sideline, about to go in. Tottenham scores, if I'm remembering it right, and then they still continue with the substitution.
Yeah, you need a goal. You need to keep him on the pitch.
Yeah, you need to keep him on the pitch. So that didn't make sense. That was weird. And Caballero over Kepa, you think it would have been different? Kepa is a regular goalkeeper, most expensive goalkeeper in the world, and Pep decides, not Pep. Is that the same game?
That's Chelsea.
That's Chelsea, my bad.
Yeah,
That's Chelsea. I got some Chelsea notes mixed up, so let me just skip that. Yeah, like what am I? And the penalty after it was saved. Let's go back to the penalty.
Yeah.
And Sterling went for the rebound, and him and Lloris kind of had a collision. Do you think that was a new penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looked like one.
I think it more looked like one. I think
Sterling knows what he's doing.
He definitely knows what he's doing. So I don't like when people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then I think this is something they should change. Like, it's the penalty box, but not everywhere in the box is a penalty.
No.
And it's like, even if Sterling gets that ball,
he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That ball, he may save it from being a goal kick.
Yeah.
But it's not in a dangerous, like, scoring position. So
you can flip that though, and then ask, should the goalkeeper commit as much as he does when it's not in a position where he's going to score from?
And I would just still add that Sterling knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And
definitely went down. You know, so I would be like, nah, no penalty. Fuck that.
Well, they agreed.
All right. And then that's it on that game. And then, you know, I think Mourinho had to win that game.
Yeah, it brought him a little bit more. More sort of faith from the Spurs fans.
Yeah, because what are you there for? Like, to get Pochettino or just some other coach who doesn't have your caliber or pay grade results? You got to get some impressive results, and this is an impressive result. And so then my question is, what do you think is wrong with City from last year to this year, besides the fact that Laporte is injured, besides the fact that they went down a man, which is when the game kind of changed, besides the fact that there is no more, where's the Belgian player?
Company.
Yeah. And besides the fact that Fernandinho, who used to be their holding midfielder, is now playing defense for them, and they still have to play Otamendi. And what's wrong with Man City? Because it seems, even though I named a bunch of things, it seems that there's more wrong based on their
I don't know
results.
if things are maybe just going a bit stale under Guardiola. I mean, he's never spent sort of this long at a club, I don't think.
He did four with
Barca,
right?
Yeah. But Barca's like his club as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, because they're still dominating games. If you've watched the games where they've not won, they've still dominated possession and they've still got the ball in there. I don't know if more teams are just getting a little bit smarter about how to exploit their weaknesses. They can't really stop them from attacking, but they're finding better ways at attacking them. It's like Crystal Palace. I mean, teams are being clinical against them as well. Like the Crystal Palace game, Crystal Palace had 2 chances and scored. And it was a 2-2, but City still had so many chances, just being wasteful.
Yeah, City had a bunch of chances in this game and they didn't put them away.
Yeah,
it hit the post. You know, they had some good chances earlier on. It and they had the penalty, and it just didn't do what they had to do. But and it feels like they've lost a lot, but it only feels like they lost a lot because Liverpool hasn't lost at all. And both of them are married based on what's happened the last 2 seasons, but definitely last season. So you base the Man City's success on Liverpool's success since they were like neck and neck with each other last year. So Man City has only lost 6 games. They've won 16, which would be great for anybody else. But now it just looks like like a huge, like there's just a huge gap between last year Man City's team and this year's Man City's team.
Yeah, I think losing 6 games isn't good enough for them, really.
Right.
There's some seasons where a league-winning team can get away with losing 2 or 3, but this ain't even one of those seasons. Like you say, Liverpool, just a machine at the moment.
Right. Yeah. Let me see. Anything else with that? No. What would you think would be the next biggest?
One interesting thing from the Spurs game actually was their new Dutch signing, Bergwijn.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Bergwijn. Maybe
goal.
I forgot to mention it because I can't pronounce his name. I have to hear it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to throw some random J's in those Dutch names.
Yeah, I see that. It's like, why'd you need that J for? You can't even hear it. So why are you putting it in there?
Yeah.
Actually, Bergwijn. So you pronounce the J like a G?
Or like a Y.
Yeah. What?
It's like
Wijnaldum.
Yeah. Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy. That was originally spelt with a J. I think they changed it to a Y. Sometimes they anglicise it.
Thank God. They need to anglicize. What's his name?
Bergwijn.
Bergwijn's name.
Yeah. If it's an IJ, if it's an I and a J, I think it gets pronounced as a Y. That's the general rule
Of Holland?
of Dutch pronunciation.
Don't they? They use the same alphabet as us.
Yeah.
But they say
Yeah.
the J like a W.
Yeah. A lot of their I and a J together sounds like a Y.
Why?
I don't know. But if you hear certain Dutch words like said, they sound the same as the English word. But then you see it written and it's like, oh, you've just added a whole bunch of E's, I's and J's into that.
Can we see some Dutch words? Can we see the Dutch said up there, Aaron?
What the Dutch said?
Yeah. How would he spell it?
Let's get a Dutch dictionary up.
Just want to see some Dutch shit.
Oh, here we go.
They say, is that hello? Hello?
I feel like good morgen is good morning.
Oh shit! This is pretty much English.
Yeah, it just looks weird when you see it written out.
I could speak Dutch if
You
I
could-
just
you
had
could-
like a.
You could speak Dutch, you couldn't write Dutch.
Oh shit! What else? What else is there? That would be the easiest Rosetta Stone ever. Good morning is it's just you know how you like there's certain black names that are just regular names but just Frencherized.
Yeah.
Like these are just English words Dutcherized. You know what I mean? Let's see what else they got.
Oh no, there are some that are a bit different.
Oh yeah. Now some of the shit is that aluminum versus aluminum?
Yeah. But like
cement.
but like dynamite, it's MIET at the end.
That's how I spell dynamite regularly because I'm a terrible speller. So I'm actually a great speller in
You're
Dutch.
actually bilingual.
Yeah. And shank and shut. Yeah, I can't. But it's yeah. All right, shit. I'm gonna start learning Dutch. I didn't know I could speak Dutch that well. It's good to know. Yeah,
There you go.
I'll take that.
But yeah, good goal from Bergwijn though. It was,
Yeah.
good finish. It was weird because he hadn't really done that much in the game up until that point, but then
Right.
instantly everyone knows who he is now.
And what's his history? Do you know it?
Is it PSV?
PSV?
I think he's 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 22 million they bought him for? I can't remember. I know there's a number 22 in there, but he's a good player. Quite exciting player, quite highly rated in the Dutch squad. So,
How many goals did he get like last year?
let's have a look.
22.
22? And it,
years old.
22
Yeah,
years old?
He is 22.
I wonder if they show go down a little bit for me.
Yeah, he's a winger, so he won't be like hugely prolific, I don't think. But I think he scored a few for him.
If you click view all where it says stats, let's see what it say.
PSV Eindhoven will be the one if you go up on the top bar.
Oh yeah, top right there. Boom. So
That can't be right. Oh, that's in the cup. Oh yeah, so 5 goals and 10 assists in 16 games last season, or this season before he moved.
oh okay, that's not
So,
bad
for a winger. That's a good return.
Yeah, it's a good return. Yeah, it's worth almost a goal a game. Yeah. If you score it in a hockey way.
Yeah, goals and assists.
Yeah, goals and assists. That's how they score hockey, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, goals and assists. Thanks.
But I'm not sure a winger was exactly what they needed. They probably needed more of a centre forward, because as soon as Kane's injured, they start putting square pegs in round holes. They start using Son in the middle. They start using, I think they played Mora through the middle one game as well.
Right. But I remember last season, they won all the games that
Llorente?
What's his name was injured.
When Kane was injured.
Kane was injured, even in the Champions League final.
But they had Llorente in there, who's, not the most dynamic player, but he was a big experienced number 9.
I remember Llorente scored an own goal in one game.
But he was a key player when he came on against Ajax in that semi-final. He caused havoc in that game.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's the game when Mora scored 3?
Yeah. But Llorente, they put him on. He occupied the centre backs, made space for other players. He was useful, but they need another number 9.
I remember Llorente getting away with that handball goal on City. I remember that. Before VAR and all that. He was pre-VAR, perfect. Pre-VAR worked out perfect for him. Yeah. All right. So that's that. What else would you say was outstanding? I would talk about Man U a little bit, just because of the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Welcome.
The long-awaited signing of Bruno Fernandes.
The longest trying to sign somebody ever. Like, it didn't take homie that long to get with Cinderella. Like, find what the princess whose shoe it belonged to and kiss her. Was she awake, asleep, or he just had to put the shoe on her foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it didn't even take that long. As long as we took to land this guy. We tried to get him in the summer, then we went all winter with him, and then we get him. What are they saying in England about this?
I think the guys who write like the transfer rumour blogs, they're devastated because they got so much mileage.
I know.
Out of that one. Like, he's flying here, he's flying there. The Sporting Lisbon directors are in England. They must be talking to him.
Barcelona's into him.
Yeah, Spurs sniffing around him as well. But no, I think the general perception, United fans seem quite excited by it. The guy's put up some incredible numbers the last couple of seasons, goals and assists. It'd be interesting to see whether he can do it in the Premier League as well, because Portugal is not quite at the same level as the Premier League. Right. But he's done well for the national team as well.
Yeah, Portugal has a decent national team.
Yeah, and he played well in Serie A for a little bit as well, because he was out in Italy before he went back to Portugal. So it'd be interesting to see. I think he's the sort of player you need. That number 10 who can create, but then you need someone on the end of what he's doing. And that man is Odion Ighalo, apparently.
Well, that man is injured.
Yeah,
Rashford
But for me, I think Rashford's better when he's coming off the wing.
Right.
I know you've used him as a centre forward this season, but I think he's more effective when he's coming in off the wings and running at people. I forget he's scored 14 goals this season though, which is a crazy return for someone that doesn't always play as a proper striker.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff just about Man U. Period. We get Bruno Fernandes, a player. If he'd been here all season, we'd probably be 5th this weekend, or maybe in the top 5. So that's on the people who run the club for not landing this guy, who we end up getting now anyway.
Yeah.
Only credit to them. Only good thing about that, not getting him earlier, is that Fred has had time to play and become like a legit starter.
Yeah.
Like, Fred could make most teams in the Premier League now. He couldn't a year ago or the beginning of the season. But I said, all right, this Fred can play. He hustles, he gets back, even though Traore just threw him away on one play in this game. Yeah, Traore just like...
Traore did that to most people, though.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But so there's the question. The game ended 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a question, is Manchester United growing? Like, people want their teams to see the growth in their teams, right? And I wanted this win, but I also know Wolves is tough.
Yeah.
And I've seen Wolves beat Man City, and they just beat teams. Like, they're not easy. But at the same time, I'm suffering from post-traumatic, we can't beat people we should beat syndrome.
Yeah.
So when going into this game, I'm not expecting us to win this when we should. But at the same time, do we have the personnel to beat Wolves? And is Ali actually a good coach? You know what I mean? And then the marks of a good coach. When you looked at Spurs, when Pochettino first started there, you could see players get better. And you say, yeah, you know, this is why there's a belief in Pochettino as a good coach. But, and they say they don't see this at Man U, but I can name some players who have gotten better under Ali. So this is like a very confusing team if you're looking at it, because you can't deny Fred got better under Ali, right? Rashford got better under Ali.
He's got more consistent for sure.
Got more consistent and this is his best season. Scored more goals in the Premiership, and his season ain't even over, and he's missed games, right?
Yep.
Who else? McTominay,
yeah.
right? Brandon Williams. I can't even give him full credit for Brandon Williams, but he brought him in, right?
He's giving him a chance. Yeah.
He's giving him a chance, right? So some of the things that you want to see from Pochettino, or the things you gave Pochettino credit for, Ali has done. So it's Fred, McTominay, and
Williams, Rashford. I think Lindelof's improved under him as well. He's got more solid.
Yeah, I like how in this game Lindelof and Maguire played, where as soon as somebody tried to pass the ball down the middle to one of the Wolves players, they would just intercept that.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to deal with fouling the player, or like they shut down those attacks, and hopefully they could play more like that.
Yeah. Well, if you keep Jimenez quiet, you've done well. He's I think he's a real underrated striker.
He's trouble.
Yeah.
It's like Wolves has two barrels with feet. And those is Jimenez and Traore. Yeah. Like, you don't want them things turning around and rolling down a hill towards you.
No.
Yeah, you got to get out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a dangerous team. It's one of those things. It's like, if you're just looking at it in terms of the size of the club, you think United should be beating them. But if you look at it on paper, player for player, Wolves are a good team. Yeah,
they're just legit. And that's what I'm thinking. Listen, right now we're sixth? We have the worst start in the history of Man U in the Premiership, but I also think we have the worst team in the history of Man U in the Premiership. So what do people want? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just, I think, just trying to figure out those games as well, because it's another one where, I looked at the stats from it, and you had like 60-something% possession, but not many shots.
Right.
Or not many shots on target, I don't think.
Right, on target. We keep possession, baby.
So Wolves obviously just looked at it and went, well, United struggle when they play a team who defend.
Right.
And I think they tried to do that and pinch a win off you on the counter, but didn't quite manage to do it. But
thank God.
What have you got the numbers there?
Yeah.
And what possession? It was 60-something, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, we get 64% possession. Yeah. And there it is up on the board. Thanks.
So these are the sort of games where you'd hope Bruno Fernandes would be able to make the sort of difference. Can't expect too much from him straight away in his first game. I think he'd only had
that was his first practice this game.
Training set. Or did he not train?
Yeah, he trained, but literally he got off the plane, did an interview. They gave him some what size you wear, and just practice against your old teammates from the national team. And the only thing I didn't like about this game, at Bruno's game at the end of the game, hey man, don't put on a Wolf shirt. You just you can't be wearing a Wolf shirt for the same amount of time as you've worn a Man U shirt. Like he swapped shirts with one of the Wolves players after the game.
One of the many Portuguese players.
One of the many Portuguese. It's like, hey man, don't put that shit on. You just got here. Wait. And nobody's swapping shirts in the middle of games anymore.
Yeah. There was a stat from this game as well. It was there was 8 Portuguese players in total who played in that game on both teams combined, and that's the most. Well, it's the joint most amount of foreigners from one particular nation that have played in a game. Yeah. Level with France and Spain. Yeah. In a Premier League game.
That's probably happened with France and Arsenal and somebody. Yeah. Back in the day, and Arsenal was just mad French at one point.
Yeah, I think Chelsea. It was probably Arsenal, Chelsea, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the national squad on that team. But yeah, so we still, and then we made an adjustment and dropped Bruno back towards the end of the game in the second half.
Yeah, try and get him on the ball more.
Trying to get him on the ball more, but yeah, we got to. So the next thing, Martial has to want it more. He doesn't want it enough. Mata, oldish. James, too young. And Wan-Bissaka at the end of the game started getting aggressive. We like to see that aggressiveness more. Shaw was aggressive at some points during the game, but like to see that. And when I say aggressive, I mean like trying to help score more.
That's one thing you see from Williams when he plays, though. Like he wants to get forward. And like some of the runs he makes, you can just see that desire in him to join in the attacks. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see how he develops over the next few years.
I hope he's good. England is like the land of the backs now. Like Reece, was it Reece James from Chelsea?
Chelsea,
it's just backs are just popping up from everywhere. And anywhere in England is the easiest thing to get. It's like a failed forward will make a great,
or one of our best ever fullbacks, Ashley Cole. He started off as a left-sided forward. Yeah. And then they moved him back.
Yeah. Shit, even Sterling. Well, Sterling did both, but they had it back. But then he started scoring for Liverpool. Yeah. So then they say, "All right, come forward."
Yeah, it works like that sometimes. Like Gareth Bale, when he started at Southampton, was a left back.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they moved him forward. So it worked the other way.
But I'm sure he was like a forward that they said go back, and then he started scoring. Once you score a certain amount of, all right, you got to put him forward. Yeah.
It's when he went to Spurs. They moved him forward.
Yeah. But yeah, trying to see who else we got up. What other game would you say? And do I have to show you this list of games?
Probably the Liverpool-Southampton game.
Liverpool-Southampton.
As painful as that was.
Why is that painful? Liverpool, top team in the league, undefeated, plays Southampton, a team that they could easily beat. And guess what? They easily beat them 4-0.
Yeah, and that doesn't tell the full story. We actually played quite well. We
first half, it was 0-0.
We held them
right?
for a half, but the thing is, once they score one,
right,
you've got to open up a little bit and come at them to try and get back in the game, and that just plays into their hands. They were clinical, they were dominant.
Or you could be one of those teams when you go down 1. I've seen a lot of teams go down 1 to Man City, and they just like play as if it's 0-0.
Yeah, like, we'll take that. Yeah.
And they're like, so as long as we don't get embarrassed, we're good.
But that's not how our manager thinks. He wants to at least have a go, which has paid off for us in a lot of the other games recently. Just not that one.
Just not that one.
But there were some strange calls in that game as well.
I want to ask you about one of those.
They got away with a back pass, which looked pretty blatant.
That one I need to see again. But here's the first thing I want to ask you about.
The Danny Ings one.
Yes.
It looked like a penalty.
It looked like he knew what he was doing. That's why I don't call that.
Although if you watched it, there's another angle I've seen a video of where you actually see him go past Fabinho, and Fabinho swipes a leg out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did. But you're like, Danny Ings can also see that he has a possibility of losing the ball.
Yeah,
and he's a forward, and forwards be looking for it now. And I'm just against any form of diving, even if it's like Daniel James, a Man U player. Yeah. That motherfucker, we're like, hey man, get the fuck up. All right, you stop going down and grabbing your heart after. Are you in the middle of a stroke in the middle of this game? One day this guy's gonna get a heart attack, and people are just gonna think he's faking it again.
Yeah, or he cried wolf.
Yeah, because he cries wolf on a regular basis. So I'm against it for anybody, and I think Ings could have gotten past that, but that got converted into an attack that resulted in Liverpool's first goal. But the end of the game is 4-0, so
yeah. But like I say, once they score one, and that was the first one, once they score one, if you open up trying to get back in it, that's when they hurt you.
But it's also Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's
I had no expectations for it, but it's never nice seeing someone put 4 past your team.
Your team has done really good lately.
Yes. I mean, if we look at the season after like 3 months in, I thought we were going to get relegated. And
a month ago, it looked like you was going to get relegated.
But now, no, it's looking better.
You're 13 now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 13 and you're 7 points out of the relegation zone. So anything could happen, but this is truly impressive. And you weren't here maybe a week ago when you got that revenge on Leicester.
I was at the game.
Oh, you was at the game. So how was that?
It was interesting. So before the game, on the big screens in the stadium, Leicester played all the goals from the 9-0 whilst the Saints players were warming up.
Oh.
And they cranked the volume up on the commentary.
Oh.
So our players are on the pitch warming up, and the whole 9-0 is being replayed on the screens.
Wow.
All the goals with the commentary really loud.
Shit.
But I think it just fired them up.
Yeah, why would is that normal? Because you've been to a lot of games in England.
They'll replay highlights from the last time you played that team. But like I say, they sort of made a big thing about it. They turned the volume up on it.
Wow, I did not know that.
Because our nickname's the Saints, our fans sing, "Oh, when the Saints go marching in," and the whole Leicester fans started singing, "Oh, when the Saints go 9-0 down." So they were rubbing it in. So the final whistle, all our fans still in the stadium singing, "Stick your 9-0 up your ass."
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
It was good fun. It was.
You said you're our fans. You too, motherfucker. You said.
Well, no, the problem is I was sitting in with the Leicester fans.
Oh.
It was the only ticket I could get, so I was sitting on my hands for the game. And when Danny Ings put us 2-1 up, he came and celebrated in the corner in front of all the Leicester fans where I was sat. And I've just got a smirk on my face. And there's all these Leicester fans around me just going absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
That's hilarious.
But, no, you're
like an undercover. You're like an undercover agent.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't let them find out that you're wearing a wire. Or Southampton shirt under your fake Leicester shirt, or you get killed.
Yeah, I wore red, just wasn't a club top or anything. That was as far as I went. But yeah, I managed to keep it pretty disciplined.
Oh man, that must be tough. Like sitting there, like wanting to celebrate your team's goals, and especially after you watched all that stuff on the monitor, experienced the 9-0 game, and you're like right there, and you're just in a sea of like enemies and shit. That's bananas.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
It took a lot of restraint.
Yeah. You'd make a good, you should sign up for M6?
MI6,
MI6.
MI5, one of those ones.
Yeah, you could make it. You could make it as an MI5 agent, bro.
Double agent.
Yeah, you'd be good at that. But yeah, Liverpool, Salah, and they started, what's his name? Do you think your goalkeeper made some mistakes in this game?
He made some really good saves earlier on in the game, but there was like Oxlade-Chamberlain's goal, he didn't really dive for, but I don't know if he couldn't see because Oxlade-Chamberlain sort of cut inside. And I
think he looked like he assumed that it was going to be, because whenever somebody's on that side of the field with that foot, they go far post curve. Yeah. And I think he just assumed that, and Oxlade-Chamberlain sold him that, but then went near post. And there was another goal that he made another assumption on, and I can't remember which one. And it's like, hey, goalkeeper, just kind of wait.
I think it might have been one of Salah's goals, because the Henderson one he couldn't really do much about. When the ball got cut back to Henderson, he just put it in the top corner.
Right. That might have been the one, to be honest. Salah's goal. Salah switched feet on one of his goals. Yeah. And then one of his goals, he couldn't get there. I don't know. But yeah.
But yeah, it's just, they're just clinical. I mean, give them the title now. It's done.
Think so?
Yeah.
I know they're saying that. I know they're saying that in England. Do you know any Liverpool fans?
Yeah, they're unbearable. The thing is, I really want to like the team. Right. Because they got so many likable players. The way they play is exciting. It's attractive. But Liverpool fans have just got this reputation back home of being unbearable people.
Have they always had this reputation? Yeah?
I think it stems from like when they were like this big club in the 80s, they won all these European trophies and everything. And then all their fans, even the fans who weren't around when they were winning those trophies, they sort of had this sense of entitlement. Right. They think they're sort of different to all the other clubs, and it is a special club. I don't like hate them or anything, but they get a lot of hate back home from other fans. Like people were sort of hating on Guardiola, saying you're the first manager to let Liverpool win the league, Premier League, since it's been the Premier League. The team that's hasn't lost a game. He's not doing much letting.
You know, it's hilarious.
So people that are fans of other clubs are angry at Pep as well because they're saying like they don't mind Man City winning the league, but they really mind Liverpool winning the league.
Hilarious.
But like I say, it's hard not to like them because you know the way they play is really good to watch.
I'm gonna say something outrageous. I love watching them play.
Yeah,
and I'm a Man U fan. But here it's easy to be a Man U fan. I said this here in America, where you don't have to, because listen, I'm a Man U fan through and through, but it's easier to be a Man U fan in a country where the sport is just growing, as opposed to in the country where the sport was incubated and came to life.
Yeah.
Because you have to, Liverpool fans, you have to be there and deal with the Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
and a part of the problem with Manchester United right now, and is partly entitlement because we've had such a great run. And we passed.
Yeah, you're becoming the Liverpool of 10 years ago, where they were looking at their history.
The fear of that, the fear of that, but also the fans can't take. How was I going to put this? They don't want to hear it from all the fans that they used to talk shit to.
Yeah,
and it's like so then. They have to go to work and walk out on the streets and hear shit from Liverpool fans and fans from other teams that they used to kick when they were down.
Yeah.
So then now that we're in this position of losing or not being as good as we were, there's this, they can't take hearing the shit.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to hearing the shit. So then they want to stage walkouts, get coaches fired, and just like really shit on the players and on the team and call for Ed Woodward and all of. But listen, we're sixth, but this is not the worst in the world. Like this is slowly being fixed, but I see it being fixed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I understand his frustrations because we should have got some players. Say the board didn't want to buy players because maybe they believed in Fred. And they never said it, but Fred, the money that we paid for Fred is starting to become worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And now we got Bruno Fernandes, right? Now we got Bruno Fernandes, and we didn't replace Lukaku, but this loan move, like I've read up on this guy, and it's for a loan on paper. It's a good loan, for that, just from what I've read. So it's a good loan. And I just think like a lot of teams like West Ham, they're like angry at their board. Like let's go back to Man U. A lot of fans are like, we're in debt and we're not spending money on the team. We're not putting it back in the team, but we put a lot of money back in the team. So how is that a legit argument for the fans that said we didn't put the money back in the team? We bought the wrong people and then we fired people and then we didn't give people a chance. But a lot of fans wanted a lot of these changes that we made. Yeah. And they wanted a lot of these plays that we made, and then they didn't work out, then they just blame the board. Fans are just, I'm a fan too, but it's easier for me back here to like look at it more calmly. I don't mind not being great this year as long as I can see where we're going, and I can kind of see where we're going. Yeah. Now, is Solskjaer a good coach? I don't know. Like, if he got better, do we need better players? For sure. So, like for where we are, we probably should be where we are for those players.
Yeah. Because you're not like you look at Man City now. If they need a player, they go out and they can buy the best person in the world in that position. Liverpool getting to that point as well, but United, you're not going out. Like if you look at the players you've bought over the last 3 years, how many of those players would get in to the top teams? You're buying potential a lot of the time now. You're not going out there and buying world-class finished products anymore, which is what you used to do back in the day.
Well, we used to have a combination of both, and I think we need a combination of both now. Yeah. So I agree with Bruno Fernandes. I think we should have got Eriksen. Tried to. Yeah. But I don't know. But somebody said Spurs probably wouldn't have sold him to us. Yeah. Because we're in the same league.
Oh, yeah, direct rivals right now. If they could get him abroad over you guys.
I'd rather do that, yeah. Well, we'll see. I think Solskjaer, if he gets fired from Man U, will get another job after this. Yeah. Because he's beat enough successful teams. But the jury's still out, but I say stick with him.
Did you see the rumor recently that they were, if they were going to get rid of Solskjaer, they were going to look at Southgate? That was a rumor going around.
Man, I don't know, man. I like Southgate, what he's done with the English squad, but the English squad, so he's done a great job. World Cup was amazing.
Yeah.
But the English squad still lacks. It has the same problem we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want, and he hasn't fixed that yet. So we would have the same problem.
Yeah. He's unproven at club level as well.
Right.
Apart from getting Middlesbrough relegated. I think he was there during that.
Yeah. But he did a great job with the English squad, but we still have a creativity problem. And he's refusing to play Grealish.
Yeah.
Or put him, like Grealish is clearly a fix. And if you Cantwell, we have two playmakers just chilling. Cantwell from Norwich and Grealish. And good thing Oxlade-Chamberlain is on that. Liverpool is learning to kind of be a playmaker.
Yeah.
So we have a good chance if he, you know.
He's got to figure out the combination. There's a lot of players there. Like you say, the pieces are there.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out the way to put it together.
Just put them in. Who's playing better than Grealish in that position? Who's English? Who's like is Grealish in the middle of the field?
Yeah.
And he's giving you goals, and he's creating, and he's tracking. He's
in a struggling team as well, which isn't easy to do.
Yeah, right.
You think if he was at the likes of City or something, what could he be doing?
Like, he looks better in a game. He's been the best player on the field in games where his team has lost. Like, Man U fans, right? They'd be like, if we lose or we don't win, they're like, the whole team played like shit. And that's like, that's not true. Somebody played good on Man U.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. Everybody didn't. It's like if we win, do they give people credit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're hard, bro. We are hardcore. We want that win, so we can go to the pub during the week and not hear it in peace.
That's the thing with you guys at the moment, that you seem to sort of get a couple of good results, everyone gets positive, and then you have a couple of just terrible results and people go down. It's a bit of a roller coaster. There doesn't seem to be...
They call that bipolar.
Yeah.
We have bipolar results and we act bipolar according to the results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are Man U fans in England unbearable, or were they? How do people view Man U fans?
There's a lot of people taking a lot of joy out of their demise. I
figured that.
But that was it. I mean, I grew up in the period where United were just dominating under Ferguson, and they won, the Premier League however many years.
Too much. I'm a fan. I'm like, this is too much. This is boring.
But that was when there was a bit less financial parity as well in the league. Like, United had like a global marketing machine before any other English club. They were, they seized on it and they made their money and got the success. And obviously having Ferguson, who was just a one-of-a-kind manager as well for that period. So I think it's people were just, United fans were so arrogant and so confident for so long. People are now seeing it as a bit of an opportunity to have a dig at them, and
so people are giving them a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But were they unbearable? Like, are they especially unbearable, like the Liverpool fans? Or like who's the most, like Arsenal? I mean, I know Martin.
Arsenal fans get a lot of stick as well.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Arsenal fan TV?
Yes.
Oh yeah, those people are just the worst.
Yeah.
But Arsenal sort of had that.
I don't think they're the worst, but I've seen this to TV. And some of them make great points, but they hate losing. Yeah. They hate this period before Arteta that they're in now.
As soon as they lost the game, they'd all be like, right, you need to get rid of all these players. You need to sack the manager, sack the board, everything. They were just and then they act like drama queens.
Yeah, and basically. They act like the team ain't spending money, but the team is spending. Every team that the fans say they're not spending any money, they're spending money. It just doesn't always work out.
Yeah. Yeah. And also people want instant returns. Fans want instant returns. There's really low levels of patience. Yeah. And sometimes a manager can come in and things work quickly, but other times it takes time and patience. And
and sometimes it's a build-up of different managers failing that lead to the one who succeeds, and nobody gives the failing managers credit for that. You know what I mean? But like Man U, we need to build a core of winning players, because when you look at Chelsea has won with several different coaches in 2 different periods, and Mourinho built both those core players of teams. And I don't think Man U has a core set of players. And you look when Lyon had their run, it was like a set of core players, and PSG's having their run. Like I think what's his name at Everton, like
Ancelotti
built the which he doesn't get credit. Was he the first one to get PSG back recently into what they? I think he was their first legit coach.
He was one of them, because after him they had Emery,
right,
and then after Emery, Tuchel, who's in there now.
But before, so who was before? The other French, Blanc or somebody.
Yeah, I think Laurent Blanc might have been in there as well.
Yeah, he's the one that set it off. Yeah, but Thiago Silva is one of the bases of that team from back then, and
Verratti as well.
Yeah, and you just like you have the spine, and then
the players around them interchange, but there's consistency.
Yeah, it's Bayern Munich. So many players had won with, so many coaches have won with that spine of a team, and Man U doesn't have a spine. So then, you can keep changing the coaches as much as you want. Let's get somebody who's building a spine. And I think at least for the first time since Fergie left, Solskjaer is building a spine.
Yeah.
And just give it a chance. All right. Another game I want to talk about, Arsenal, Burnley, since we're talking about Arsenal a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was 0-0. What do you think of Arteta's job so far? In this game, let me just say,
Yeah.
In this game, there were moments of this game where I thought that Burnley was being coached by Arteta, because they looked more like Arsenal than Arsenal.
Yeah.
I was like, Burnley looked really good this game, and they blew blatant chances to score and didn't capitalize on it, and then Arteta gets out of there with a point.
Yeah, Burnley is starting to look more like the Burnley from a couple of seasons ago now.
Right.
Obviously, they got their win against you the other
week. Yeah.
But
I like that.
But no, I mean, but Burnley were at home, and it's never. No one ever really goes to Burnley and has an easy game. It's a tough game, so for Arsenal to get a point there is actually not the worst result in the world.
But you're Arsenal.
Yeah. But again, they're rebuilding as well. It's Arteta seems to have been sort of not spectacular, but solid since he's gone in. The players seem happier. The fans seem willing to give him a chance as well.
Yeah.
Their patience levels, but they are Arsenal fans, so
they
might start losing that if it doesn't get really good really soon.
I say he's got to the end of the season, and then next season they better get some wins.
Oh yeah, if they're like 7th or 8th by Christmas next year, their fans will turn.
And they bought an Argentina defender during the transfer window. You think he's going to be any good, or no idea?
Not sure. This is Mari, isn't it? I think.
I'm trying to see if he's on the substitute bench, but I don't think he's he started this week.
I can't remember where it was he came from.
Yeah. I forgot where he came from, but he's from Argentina. He came from the league, from the Argentinian league.
I think it's Mari, Mari.
All right.
Pablo Mari.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He's Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Didn't he play in the Argentinian league? But here's the thing: is he one of those cheap defenders like Socrates that they bought? Even though Socrates had a decent game this week, you know what I mean. In the vein,
he came from Brazil. Spanish defender playing in Brazil.
Oh yeah, all right.
Flamengo.
Yeah, that's weird.
They won like the South American equivalent of the Champions League recently. But they also signed Cedric from us on loan, the Portuguese right back.
Right.
Who is brilliant attacking but can't defend, so he'll fit in perfect at Arsenal.
But that's dumb. It's like you don't need that. You need a defender that could defend.
Yeah, he's about 5 foot tall, so if any time a team crosses to the back post from the other side, he would always get beaten in the air. Arsenal have got that to look forward to.
More bad defending.
Yeah,
great Arsenal, great job. What do you think of Arteta's job so far?
Yeah, like I say, he's been solid but not spectacular. But he's, like I say, everyone seems happier. Like he's sort of reintegrated Ozil, and I think if you can put the right players around him and get the best out of him, he's still a quality player for Premier League level.
He got subbed out of this game. He didn't look happy.
Yeah.
Get out! You ain't running back. Stop!
Exactly.
Stop walking out of the game. Who is this act for?
Yeah. Well, he's a luxury player. So Burnley away probably isn't the game you want to play him in. But in some of those games we're talking about where United play against a team that just want to defend against them and they've got to try and pick the lock. They're the sort of games where if Arsenal are facing a team like that, that's the sort of games where Ozil will be useful because he can see passes and he just won't run back.
I mean, I just feel like Arteta is getting a lot of mileage out of that. It was a 2-0 game win over us.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't really won much besides that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of draws.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they showed a bit of spirit to come back against Chelsea with 10 players the other week. Yeah. So, like I say, they seem to have a good spirit and a good sort of vibe around them. So he might be able to carry that forward. But yeah, like you say, if they don't see some real steps forward, they'll lose some patience. Yeah,
and we were talking about backs like Sacco. Like this guy wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a winger.
That's converted, right? Yeah. England's full of them, man.
Because before they were playing Maitland-Niles at right back, and he's a midfielder as well.
Yeah. It's funny, like we'll have England, any attacking player would just turn him into a defender. So all these backs might have been great creative players, and we just take that from them. And like, who's like, go back in defense, you creative attack. What country is doing that to their backs?
I think it all started, the image of a fullback changed in Guardiola's Barca team, because before they were just wide defenders, whereas like that Guardiola team changed football. You look at like Dani Alves, he was one of the first fullbacks where it's like, you can. He
was like that before he got there.
He was at Sevilla. He wasn't known for doing it that much because Sevilla weren't always a team that were dominating every game. Whereas you go to Barca, and you can play differently.
Was Dani Alves there before? I think Dani Alves got to Barca before Pep was a coach.
I can't remember. He might have done.
Yeah, I remember when they bought him. Maybe, but I'm not sure.
Under Rijkaard.
Yeah, on the Rijkaard. Like Rijkaard doesn't get the credit. Why doesn't he get the credit for that team?
He deserves some of it. Like Xavi and Iniesta were already in there.
Deco, he had Ronaldinho.
They're all the players that Guardiola wanted to get rid of as soon as he joined, though, because they were disruptive. Apparently, he had to sell Deco and Ronaldinho to make sure Messi actually stayed focused, because they were trying to get him to go out partying with them and stuff.
Right, but they still won Champions League and the league. What about the holding midfielder? He was there too, right?
Busquets? No, he came through because Guardiola first took over the B team at Barca.
Right.
And he had Busquets, Pedro, and a couple of the other guys who came through with. He sort of took them through with him when he got the top job. And
they had the Mexican guy in that position, but he got old.
Marquez.
Yeah. So he was there.
The guy who still played a World Cup the other year at like 40 years old.
I know, yeah. That's how much lacking there is in the Mexican team.
Yeah, I think he is in jail or something now. He was apparently running a cartel or something as well.
Rafa Marquez.
Yeah, there's something like that.
Can we look that up? Rafa.
There was something drug related.
Marquez.
Something that looked at if you put like gang or something. There's an article there, The Fall of Rafa Marquez.
That is so crazy. Rafa Marquez. What happened to Rafa Marquez? Citizen rejoined the New York Red Bulls. Are you calling the New York Red Bulls prison? How old is... What's that saying?
Yeah, it'll be in the personal life section probably. After retirement or personal, Kingpin Act designation. That'll be it.
Let's see. On August 9th, 2017, it was reported that Rafa Marquez was among 22 people sanctioned under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act, also known as the Kingpin Act, by the United States Treasury Department. They don't know soccer. For alleged ties to a drug trafficking organization, allegedly headed by Raul Flores Hernandez, a suspected drug trafficker with links to the Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco New Generation cartel. That sounds like a bad boy band. He was placed on special designated nationals list by the Treasury Department of Foreign Assets and Control. 9 businesses, including a soccer school and charitable foundation, were linked to Marquez by the OFAC. All 22 people were accused of providing support to or being under the control of Flores Hernandez. According to the OFAC, Marquez conducted money laundering by acting as a straw person for Flores and his criminal organization. They alleged that Marquez used businessmen Mauricio Heredia Horner and Marco Antonio Frigoso Gonzalez, man, these guys got long names, to act for on his behalf. Marquez's assets that were under U.S. jurisdiction or are in control of U.S. persons would be frozen. The Mexican Attorney General's office said in a statement that Marquez came voluntarily to their offices to provide a statement that same day.
So yeah, he got accused of some shady shit.
Damn. He was a hero, man. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right. All right, Rafa Marquez. He's a holding midfielder that will hold your money. Yeah, and launder it for you. I hope it ain't true. I like him too much to want that to be true. So yeah.
What other games have we got?
Let's see. Let's go through this
The West Ham Brighton game was crazy.
Yes. Well, there's 2 games I really want to talk about, and then we just get this go. So Watford, Everton, and West Ham, Brighton Hove.
Yeah.
So one was 3-3 West Ham Brighton, and West Ham went ahead of that. And how is the feeling in England about Moyes being for the second time West Ham's coach?
Well, it's nice to see West Ham doing their bit for the environment, recycling.
Fossils, recycling fossil fuel.
No, people had a bit of a laugh about it. And I think it was the first game he took charge of. They absolutely battered Bournemouth, and people were like, oh, maybe he's going to be good this time. But
right.
it looks like it was a one-off. They're back to struggling again.
But he might. They just want him to not get the team relegated, right?
Yeah.
They're just using him, right? And they figured Pellegrini wasn't working out, so all the teams around them had changed coaches and got a boost from that. So they just wanted a boost, at least a boost.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good under Pellegrini. They seemed a bit sort of lacking in ideas, but yeah, I think it just goes to show there wasn't many other good options out there.
Right. Or West Ham is not doing their due diligence in finding it, because if next year somebody else finds a coach that nobody ever heard of, like in all reality, like the Sheffield coach has somebody they never heard of.
Yeah.
And Wolves has a coach that nobody ever heard of until Wolves got promoted and came up and doing what they're doing now. So it's like those people are out there, and you have to just think outside the box a little bit and find them.
Yeah. There's a lot of short-sightedness from fans in the UK though, where it's like, oh, you need someone who's got Premier League experience and things like that. There were a lot of our fans calling for it when we sacked Hughes, and people hadn't heard of Hasenhüttl.
Right.
and he came in and did an amazing job to begin with, and is doing an amazing job again now. So he was someone that people hadn't thought of. So there are people out there, but I think they looked at the squad of players we've got and the way we wanted to play, and they hired a manager that fit that. Whereas West Ham, I don't think they know what they want to do. Pellegrini and Moyes are two completely different managers in terms of philosophies.
Right.
So it's like, well, they gave Pellegrini a lot of money and he bought a load of players based on his philosophy, and now you've got Moyes in there trying to do something completely different with them.
Right.
That's one of the main complaints from their fans back home, is that they don't seem to have a direction or a plan. They're just a bit random in their decisions.
Pellegrini doesn't know how to buy. He doesn't buy clothes. It looked like he didn't buy the clothes that fit him. It's like, if you're a medium, don't buy large, because it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
And you're not going to feel good in the clothes. You're not going to be able to move right. And that's what he looked like. He bought a bunch of players that did not fit his waistline. And then now you just hand it over to another guy who speaks English, but just looks as haggard as Pellegrini to wear the same clothes. So good luck.
But that one was crazy. Like, West Ham were ahead by 2, weren't they? I think they were 3-1 up.
3-1 up. There was an own goal in there.
Yeah. And
then 2 defenders, instead of clearing the ball, started like hesitating between each other.
Yeah. And
then that was that goal. And I forgot what the other goal, but yeah, West Ham definitely botched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have at least won by 3-2.
It's one of those ones, the old cliche, where the draw actually feels like a loss when you were 3-1 up. So that might dent the confidence there even more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then for Brighton Hove, it definitely built up theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 2 teams that are in the mix for relegation, so it's an interesting result.
Yeah, for sure. And then Watford Everton was tough to call because both coaches have kind of injected Red Bull into the veins of their players. So, Watford is not easy to beat, even though they're in the relegation zone right now. They've gotten out of it, right? And
yeah, Pearson's done a great job there.
At Watford, is it Nigel Pearson, right?
Yeah. He's just gone in, and apparently I read a few articles from inside the club, like people inside the club, and they just said he simplified things, just gave the players really clear instructions, and just built their confidence back up, which is transformed their season, because I thought they were really, really, really gone at one point.
Right.
They were rock bottom,
and they went up 2-0 in this game.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Mina finally started doing what he was doing in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like heading balls in the net from corners and shit.
But that killed Watford as well, because both those goals were in injury time in the first half. They were I think...
Oh, yeah. So right at the end of
the 45 had happened, they're gone. And then he scored 2 in that period, which... Yeah, so all of a sudden Pearson's expecting to go in at 2-0, and then in the blink of an eye it's 2-2.
You have to play all of the game. Yeah. You have to play every second of this shit.
Yeah. But then for Everton to turn it around with 10 players as well.
Yeah.
I think Delph got sent off with about 20 minutes left, and then Walcott scored late on. So no, fair play to Everton. They've
So what are they saying about Ancelotti? This is...
People are curious because he's always taken
better jobs,
prestigious clubs.
But he's worked his way down to this. Because when you take the Napoli job, which is not a top job in Italy, then you could take... It prepares you for the Everton job.
Stepping stone.
You step up little by little.
Yeah.
He's been stepping down since he left PSG, probably.
Yeah, because you look, his first jobs in Italy were Milan and Juventus and stuff, and then he went to Chelsea and then Bayern, or Real Madrid, then Bayern.
Real Madrid, then Bayern, and he won.
Yeah, but in Bayern, the players complained about him.
That is, he didn't work them out enough, and they had private workout sessions just to...
Yeah, they held their own training sessions and stuff, and Arjen Robben said that his 11-year-old son was training harder than he was under Ancelotti.
So Ancelotti's a really successful coach.
Yeah.
It's weird to hear players say that. And it's not like he's failed anywhere he's gone. And he's one of my favorite coaches. So maybe it's just me not wanting to accept that. But
they had just been coached by Guardiola, though, who works works his players pretty hard. So I don't know if it was just the players struggling to go from one to the other.
Right.
But Ancelotti apparently is quite relaxed as well, though, which works in certain environments.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain people you can give freedom to, certain people who need more direction.
I mean, it worked at Real Madrid. He went to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
We hadn't won the league in a while. He goes there, wins the league, and then wins Champions League.
Yeah, he delivered the 10th Champions League, which was like they'd been stuck on 9 for ages.
Right.
And he won that. He got the best out of a team that managers have struggled to
exactly
get the best out of.
A team that had a great spine, a championship spine, but hadn't really delivered. And after him, and then Zidane took it to the next level. So it's weird to hear, but I'd love a set of players who feel like they haven't practiced enough. Yeah, I'd like to have manage a team like that. Yeah,
But now, like I say, people are curious to see whether he can, or what he can get out of a group of players who aren't
his caliber.
Yeah, the elite level that he's worked with previously.
And he's doing good, man. I think he's successful so far. They're 9th now.
Yeah.
Can't remember what they were when he took over.
They were lower than that, I know that much.
Yeah, for sure. They were almost about in the relegation zone, hovering above it, so to be 9th.
So he had that one bad moment when he came in, Ancelotti, when they played Liverpool in the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And Liverpool put a team of reserves out.
Mm-hmm.
Everton went full strength and lost without really putting up a fight. But in the league, though, he's got some good results. So I think he's doing well so far.
Yeah, I think he's doing well too. And that's pretty impressive. And then let me see. I'm just gonna go through the tables, and then you could talk with me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna really cover the other games. So here we go.
So, been in a while, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's good football chat, man. So Liverpool's at the top of the table, 73 points. And Man City trailing way behind. I mean, way behind. This is so crazy. 2 teams were neck and neck last year at this point. And now they are behind by 22 points if I can add and subtract still.
That's madness.
That is madness, right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
And you just look at the thing and look at that. Look, 20. Last year, this time is a 1 point difference, and they're way ahead of everybody. It's like now it looks like that Jesus photo where you only call footprints. You know what I mean? You just see one set of footprints.
Like if you look on the stats, it really tells a picture of Man City's defensive problems because they've scored more. Mm-hmm. Or back on the table, on the standings in the section. So Liverpool have scored 60, conceded 15.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is.
Yeah.
But Man City have scored 65, but conceded 29.
So it's a defensive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massively.
It's hard, man, to fix defenses.
Yeah.
Like, Man U's major push in the offseason was to fix their defense.
Yeah.
And it's still not fixed.
But it's not just ability either. It's like influence and leadership, and that's what I think they lacked when Company went. He was that leader at the back for them.
Do you think they should have kept him for one more year? They underestimated his value.
I think he was starting to decline as a player, but
he declined with a wonder shot in the second to last game of the season, or third to last. But what a decline!
But I think injuries and that were taking their toll on him, and he couldn't contribute as much.
But they used to him being injured.
Yeah,
that's what Company gives you.
But if you look at the other players they've got back there, though, like Otamendi's not a leader,
Never.
Stones isn't a leader.
Those are mistake machines.
Yeah,
there's one thing you can count on from those two is mistakes.
Yeah,
and you don't want that when Leicester third with 49 points. They can catch City now. I thought City would just run away from them, but I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, because Leicester had that run, didn't they? They lost to City, lost to us.
Mm-hmm. I like how you got that in there. Lost to us.
Well, I have to take every small crumb of comfort I can.
I feel you. And Chelsea's 4th with 41 points.
They look like they've got that 4th place.
I feel so.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tottenham's going to keep their 5th, and they're going to keep doing what they've been doing. They're going to have steps forward and steps back. But I think their team is... I just felt at the beginning of the season that they would be 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah. I think if Kane was fit, I think they could challenge for fourth. But without him, I don't think they've got enough.
They still on paper got so many good players. It's tough to understand why Spurs' record isn't better when you see the players. It's confusing. Chelsea's kind of like that too, but Chelsea's more understandable because you have a lot of youth there. But it's Chelsea. Spurs, I don't get it. Should be at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Let's see what so these are their goals for. I guess they're letting in a high amount of goals. They let in 32 goals.
And they've not scored that many compared to the other top sides.
Yeah.
I mean, Leicester have scored 14 more goals than Spurs this season.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah. Then there's Sheffield United. Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. We are here. We're 7th. And 36 points, our first year in the Premier League. And this
I think
is
the
how
only
we roll.
team that have got a better defensive record than Sheffield United is Liverpool.
As far as letting goals in?
Yeah.
Let's see, because they only let in 23.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are the only team.
Yeah.
So they're just solid. They've signed a really decent Norwegian player as well in midfield.
Shit.
I think he came from Leverkusen or somewhere.
Yeah.
But he looked good against Palace at the weekend, so...
Fuck. So we got to deal with that. And Man United is 7th, and we have 35 points. So these are our goals for 36. So we ain't scoring that much. But let me see. 1, 2.
You've not conceded as
3,
many as
4.
Chelsea.
We've not conceded as much as Chelsea. We've not conceded
As much as
Spurs.
Yeah.
We've conceded the same amount of Man City, but we scored considered. So we need to score.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where our lack of creativity.
Yeah. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah. Wolverhampton. Great for Wolverhampton. They're 8th. What are they? They're 8th with 35 points.
Yeah, it's got to be considered a success for them.
Yeah,
if they can finish around that sort of position again this season.
And that last Europa League spot is up for grabs between us, them, and Tottenham too. Yeah, the last 2 spots. And shit, maybe Everton. Maybe.
Yeah, they're coming up fast.
Yeah, they're coming up fast. I was going to say I'd rather have an Ancelotti now, but I'm going to stick with Solskjaer at least to the end of the season. Yeah. Arsenal, they're in 10th. They got 31 points. Terrible for Arsenal, but somebody else would definitely take that and love it. Burnley's right behind them with 31 points. They're in 11th. Newcastle, 12th with 31 points. Damn, there's
4 teams on 31.
4 teams on 31. Nothing is secure. Like any game, any point, any week, just changes shit. And Crystal Palace has 30 points. I feel like when I think of Crystal Palace, I think of Southampton.
Yeah.
Like as far as like the vibe of the team, the yearly results of the team.
Yeah.
And how they're run as an organization.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty consistent. But not really spectacular.
Right.
Who do you think's going down? I mean, Norwich look pretty doomed.
Yeah, they're far, but they're far, right? They're at the bottom.
Yeah.
But they're only 7 points away from safety. So that's 3 games.
Yeah.
You get some good results. Like their window to get out of the bottom is small, but it's doable.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. My view of Norwich is that they play good football.
Yeah, no, they do.
And I don't know if that's how you guys see it in England. Is this results? It's weird when you play good football and your results are like 18 points.
Yeah, but is that a bit of naivety on their part as well? Do they need to be more pragmatic in certain games?
But their plan is the same plan as Wolves last year.
Yeah,
and as Sheffield this year, and maybe they don't have the personality.
I think there's too many weak links in their team. Like they've got some really good players. Like Cantwell has come out of nowhere.
Yes.
This season, and Pookie's been, I mean, hot and cold. He started really well and tailed off a little bit. But
they got Aaron. Is another back who's probably forward
Aarons,
before that.
I really like Buendia as well.
Yeah, like Buendia.
Really good player. I could see him, if they go down, I could see him moving, or even if they stay up, I could see him moving on to a bigger club.
If they go down, this team is going to get bought apart.
Yeah.
And I hope Man U tries to get Cantwell, and if Villa goes down, I hope we try to get Grealish. I don't want us to try to buy what's his name from Leicester. I like these players actually better than him.
Madison.
Yeah.
That's going to be. It's good though when at least one end of the table is interesting, because I don't think there's going to be a title race now.
It's not a title race, but it's still interesting because that now you want to see the race of Liverpool against themselves.
Mm.
The race to like break this record.
Yeah.
And
they're going for that invincible season as well. Arsenal are the only ones who've done it.
So that's a contest within itself. Like to watch a team play itself every week and the team is really good. So I don't need Man City to be close for me to be interested in this thing. Yeah.
But no, the relegation battle I think is going to be really interesting. It's really hard to call.
Yeah, I'm interested in the relegation battle more now than I used to be, but I'm never more interested in it than who's going to win and who's going to get the champions. The beauty of this, the European system is that no matter what part of the table you're in, there's 3 or 4 things
you got stuff to play for
within the season for teams at different levels. So it's like, that's the beauty of it. Relegation
though can be like it can be really entertaining though, because it's, I mean, if you don't win the league, you get to try again next year. But if you get relegated, that changes your club.
I think you're excited and interested in relegation because you're a Southampton fan and because you found yourself in that area of the table and you survived and felt the exhilaration of winning without winning by surviving. And so it's like staving off relegation is like you won a title. I was there. We had a last day escape in the Championship one year. Yeah. And we all invaded the pitch afterwards. And you couldn't have told you didn't win the Premiership. Yeah. Yeah. Winning survival in the Premiership is like winning the Premiership. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Yeah. You got anything you want to plug?
No, I mean, if there's anyone in the local area, I'm doing a few shows while I'm out here. I'm at Flappers on Friday.
What?
I'm at the Setup in San Francisco on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that's the 7th and the 8th. On the 11th, I'm doing Roast Battle at the Comedy Store.
What?
So, yeah, fun times.
Yeah, you
enjoy being out here.
Did the podcast, you're packing it in.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, good shit, man. Thanks for coming. And then I'm going to go to my website because I can't remember my dates and shit. Thanks. You go to shows. And I'm at the DC Improv. Come through.
How many shows is that? Like five in a weekend?
A lot of shows. But the DC Improv is, I've never been there. I'm going to talk like it's the hottest shit, but it's like, it was Patrice O'Neill's favorite club. A lot of good word about it. It's almost like going to one of the best towns to do comedy. So nice. DC Improv on the 13th through the 16th of February, I'll be there headlining. I'll be there with Paul Elia, who I do roommates with, so we'll be there. And then after that, me and Paul again will be at the Blue Room. I'll be headlining there. Let's see the dates. February 21st to the 22nd. So come through for that. And then let's slide out one more. Thank you. Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida, March 12th through the 15th. And then Wednesday. And then the Laugh Stop in Calgary on the 25th to the 28th of March. And then just go to ianedwardscomedian.com. You see the rest of the dates. I'll be at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I'll be at the Sydney Comedy Festival and the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. And, that Toronto date, I'll be in Toronto on that date, but we changed the venue. So I got to change that. And Rumors Comedy Club in Winnipeg, back to Canada again. I'm Canadian now, and La Jolla Comedy Store. Yeah, so go to ianedwardscomedian.com. Check out those dates. Follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic. Go to YouTube, Ian Edwards Comic, or Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards. And what else? Twitter, Ian Edwards Comic. And all right. Facebook, I'm on there. Got 2 pages. But yeah. And Aaron, thank you.
Yeah.
Good looking out. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Aaron.
Cheers means, yeah. What does that mean again? Hi.
This means
Thank